I'm not as high-tech as Todd. This is my tablet, so you're not going to see me. The message title, Don't Get Befuddled, I was literally picked by Todd. I decided to keep it, saying, let me run with it, and then I can, hopefully he can compare where he was going. I had no idea what he intended, so it could be very befuddling in itself when compared to the two. Befuddled. Let's take a look at the definition first of, basically it is to become confused or to make someone confused. Some of the other words that are used, of course, is confused. Fuzzy, I like that one. In some things, fuzzy is used as in lieu of befuddlement. Again, I did shorthand, which is I should never do, because it's not good shorthand. My favorite, though, I'll just jump to the chase, is, and I know Craig may remember me saying this, discombobulated. That tone, for whatever reason, I will sit down and I'll say, I don't say I'm befuddled, I say, oh, I'm so discombobulated right now, which I am. The history of that one, though, is unique to the Methodists in one respect. That came out about 1875, according to the history, and it was befuddlement by means of alcohol. And that's where, well, at least on Facebook, not Facebook, Google search, it says discombobulation was befuddlement caused by the use of alcohol, and it became in the prominence in the U.S. in about approximately 1875. But now to the text. The idea of becoming befuddled is trying to decide basically what to do, where the power comes from, and in these two readings, it comes right out. It is from the Lord. Jesus doesn't even say it came from him. It comes from his Father. The idea of the priests and Pharisees being the source of the knowledge. No, they studied it, and then they were guided, and they spread it to the people. And again, as our spirit of truth, open our hearts and minds, so that we may understand what you are saying to us. Who we're saying it to is God. We're asking God to have his words become part of us inside and understand what he means. And there will always be some confusion, some befuddlement. The problem comes when we try to force our views on others. An example would be, when is the war going to come to an end? You know, when is Jesus coming back and the new kingdom going to replace what we're living for? Well, several places in the Bible, Jesus says that is not to be known by man. Only one person, not even him, knows, or one being, I shouldn't say person, he's beyond being a person, is God. He's the only one who knows the signs. And we can see in the Lord what has happened when people try to speak. Oh, the war is coming to an end. David Caress out in Texas. The one that still survives today is the Seventh-day Adventist, but from the Mennonites, everything's coming to an end that's sell our property. Well, at no point in the Bible does it say when something's going to end. And we shouldn't get befuddled by others who read it and automatically follow what they say it means or what they say. We should look at any type of teaching somebody's given from the Bible with an open heart, with an open mind, and to avoid befuddlement. Because if you go to the Old Testament, if there's anything that can be more discombobulating is trying to follow the 600 plus laws in Numbers and Deuteronomy, Leviticus, you're gonna go crazy. Because in this situation, you can do this, but in this situation, it's like the old joke of stereo instructions on how to put together a stereo system. It's, you follow port A, but never if B's there. And unfortunately, man, the Bible is, including the Torah, is God's will, but as put down by man and then interpreted by man to different languages. And at least I know myself, I am not up to God's level, so I'm not going to, if he said put something in my mind, I'm not going to say it's exactly what he wants, because I still have to interpret it to my thought process, my life experiences. The best way to attempt to avoid becoming befuddled, discombobulated, is pretty much was the movement of what would Jesus do. Is don't force what you thought, but at least think in your mind. Try to picture that you're living Jesus' actual words. And there's two commandments: honor the God, no one before him, and treat others as you would treat yourself. If you follow those two paraphrased commandments, and then extend it out to the 10 commandments, which are, again, very basic commandments, you can kind of avoid befuddlement. It's as you start getting to the days, the individual day-to-day life. So always fall back to avoid the idea of becoming befuddled. Like, doesn't it seem right to you? If somebody tells you to sell all your property and go stand in the middle of the desert, well, wait a second. Is it right? If you still think it is, maybe it is. God may be speaking to you to follow this puzzle. In all life, the perfect example of us trying to live is how, come November, how much are people from all political spectrums trying to befuddle you to believe only what they say. You know, they'll take the exact same thing and say this was what it means, when it could have meant this, that, and could have 10 different interpretations. Or to try to confuse you to a degree, educate you to what they want, but also confuse you as to maybe what the other person's views were. Or Constitution is an example. Take a look, one of the most basic ones, the 10th Amendment. Any powers not given to the federal government belongs to the state. Well, now how many regulations now exist that tie so many things that are not directly given in the original text? It can get confusing. Not saying right or wrong, just saying it can get very confused. Or befuddled. To avoid that would be great, but I know I'm never not going to be at some point in time discombobulated. And as a church community in Harmony Hill, I'm sure with 18 months of transition paperwork, I am sure we, as a family, extended family, are going to end up becoming befuddled, discombobulated, angry sometimes. Will you, Lisa, anybody out here who says they're not human, that has fallacies or wicked thoughts? Like me, I know I never lose my temper, but someday it may happen. And so, as our lives are going on, we do want to look towards trying to understand what God's saying. got to become a bit more introspective, not in how we deal with others, but how we think and view the world around us. Start thinking before we speak. I'm back to being serious and acknowledge one of my major shortfalls. I get on a tangent and very hard to talk to sometimes, right, Cheryl? I see you smile, that's why I mentioned your face. Good, because of the recent one that it was all worked out, but it just, we need to remember what Jesus has said. The ones who follow him, he has asked to, and interceded in John on behalf of his followers, asking for their God's protection on the ones who follow him, who understand him. So, if God, in a way that is asking for God to guide us, to keep us from becoming befuddled, in other words, we could still get confused, but not to such a point that we can't, we don't know what to do anymore. And that's basically all we can look to. We can look to read the different things, see what seems right, and remember that other people are going to look at some of the same things we do and see it slightly different. And you can see that way in the different translations of the Bible, or interpretations of the Bible. Some of the words are different. David Wine was Busy Bunnies, I think it was, from the Wednesday service for one time. It was very strange version in the Louis' own version compared to the modern one that we use on Wednesdays. But let's remember God is there. Jesus is our Savior who brought us to God. And if we follow his words and his guidance and think about what he said, usually before opening your mouth, like I unfortunately do, we should avoid becoming befuddled. And just don't let others tell us what. Make sure you really do agree when somebody tells you what something says. Read it over, study it yourself, think on it, and like I did, a couple of different versions, look to see at the different interpretations, and then go into the history of the times. And pray to God for his guidance. Amen. Announcements.